to Reviews Day Tuesday, and today I've picked Maggie O'Farrell's After You'd Gone. I read this book because it's the first book that she read, it's her first novel, and a few months ago I read her novel Instructions for Heatwave, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So why not go all the way back and read her first novel and then do a little sort of comparison of the two? I don't have her book Instructions for Heatwave with me, but I did read this one very recently and I do remember the other one, so I suppose good enough? Cold. Not surprisingly, her book After You've Gone isn't as good as Instruction for a Heatwave. Her writing is a lot cruder, her character development is not as great, but she still is a pretty damn good writer. The whole storyline makes sense, nothing is too crude, nothing is unacceptable as far as writing goes. It's very well edited, very well written. The whole thing is pretty good. I have to say I didn't particularly like the storyline, I didn't particularly like the ending, but you know, you can't have everything. So I would still recommend this book, but in comparison to her other novels, read something else, because she's written such good stuff, she's written so much better stuff. And if you watch my Reviews Day Tuesday of Instructions for Heatwave, you can see why. You can click here to watch it. It is much more engaging, much more interesting. The metaphors in it are much, much deeper, much more interesting. It reminds me a lot of When God Was a Rabbit, which is a book that I read a couple years ago now. Equally fantastic. I don't know if I've done a Reviews Day Tuesday of it, but if it is, click here to watch it. I just think that she's such an incredible author and very sort of well-rounded, very modern, not very difficult to read either, so nothing she writes is too heavy or too poignant or too much of anything really. It's very much just a skip along happy read. So if you are looking for something that is interesting, do pick up a Maggie O'Farrell book because she writes brilliant novels. I absolutely adore her books. So yeah, I have to say this was a lot sadder than Instruction for Heatwave. Instruction for Heatwave was sad, and it was very interesting to see the characters all working in time together, and there were things about it that were a bit peculiar and a little bit hard to believe, but in comparison to this, no. This book was hard to get through, and I cried a lot, like a surprising amount. It's a bit heart-wrenching really, but Instruction for Heatwave is a fantastic, fantastic novel, and I do implore you to read it, or if you want to read something else by Maggie O'Farrell, I'm pretty sure all of her books are fantastic, so go ahead. She's definitely a brilliant author and one to pick up. This has been Reviews Day Tuesday. I know it's been short, but Maggie O'Farrell is brilliant and I can't really think of anything else to say about it. Click here to watch last week's episode if you fancy it, or find my Twitter, Tumblr or Goodreads in the description below.